The following podcast may be explicit. Shedcast presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Welcome back to our table for Part 3, Session 2 of the Dungeons & Dragons Starter Set. We start this adventure podcast with introductions and a quick recap of Session 1, then we move on to the second round of combat with the orcs at Wyvern Tor. Enjoy the podcast.
Hello again, friends, and welcome back to The Shed. This is Adventures from the Shed with Mike Robertson playing Sir Walter Moss. And thanks again for listening to us. We really appreciate it. And if you could, tell your friends and definitely rate us and review us on iTunes. That'll help us get even more listeners. And I heard last week that we got a Twitter account, which I believe is...
by the time you hear this, the Twitter account will probably be a few months old. But, the Twitter account is AFTS Podcast.
So that's
what does that stand for?
Adventures from the Shed.
I'm not sure what the podcast acronym means, but...
But also, check out the website and comment on the Facebook and the website. We would love to answer some questions. I know we have sidebars coming up, so... that would be great. And let's keep on going. Kurt, how are you feeling today? You pumped?
As always, super pumped. And I don't know about this Facebook and this crazy Twitter stuff, but I know that we are rocking and rolling here, and you should tell your friends and keep listening.
Hey, Ferris Dustbringer, JJ. And I just got really whacked on that last great club.
Yeah, he certainly did.
You got whacked.
I'm not feeling too healthy at the moment, so I'm going to just can it here and pass it on to Mickey.
Hi everyone, I'm Mickey. I play Bree Greenbottle, and I am still at max hit points.
Outstanding.
Na, 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 boo, boo.
All right, and that brings us back to me. I'm Joe. I'm the Dungeon Master for this Dungeons & Dragons Starter Set. Last session, we kicked off the session finishing up our quests from Glassstaff, from the Red Brands, after defeating them, visited Phandalin, and then headed off to find Agatha the Banshee. And the group talked to her and got her to answer one question for them to find out where the Cragmaw Castle was. So then they headed off nearby. After gaining the experience from the Banshee encounter, they went nearby to the Old Owl Well, which was a quest given to them by... I'm missing something. By Darren Edermath, wanting to find out what the undead menace was there. And they found a mage there, a necromancer with some zombies, talked their way through that encounter and received 200 experience from that, from parlaying with the mage that was there. And then they decided to take a 2-day march south to Wyvern Tor, where they found the orc camp. And right outside of the orc camp, there was one sentry that Bree stealthily took out.
I murdered
with
him.
One nice shot from her bow. Then the group approached the cave entrance, had a surprise round against the orcs, and the orcs came back in full force with the leader orc Brugor and the ogre Gog charging forward and smiting heavily against Thor and Ferris, dealing very large amounts of damage. And that's what we're going to pick up this week with the second full round of combat.
I've got a question.
What's your question?
Before we start.
Yeah?
Back when we met the mage,
Yep.
we talked through that encounter.
Mm-hmm.
Would it have been different as far as experience if we had fought?
Yes, it would.
More experience or less
It would have been more experience because there were 12 zombies and a mage to defeat.
Craziness.
Yes.
That's all right. I'm fine with talking.
I'm all right with talking through it.
The
I'm a lover,
experience
not a fighter.
itself, it would have been higher because of the amount of things, whereas you still get experience for parlaying with him, for talking with him through the encounter.
And I apologize for my giggle in the middle of your introduction
Big
there,
giggle.
Joe.
So
I
what?
created an acronym for podcast.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Well, we
Penis
need to
on
hear it.
demand can allow silly tales.
Outstanding.
I live with him.
This podcast may be explicit.
Yes. The following podcast.
I think we
may
need
be
to change it
explicit.
to this podcast is explicit.
Is explicit. All right, so the second round of combat begins with whom is at the top of the order?
Thor.
Thor is going to cast a new to him, second level spell known as Spiritual Weapon. It's a bonus action, but I'm going to do it first.
Okay.
It allows me to create a floating spectral melee weapon of my choice It goes up in the air and can move within a 60-foot, basically a 60-foot radius spear, I think.
Okay.
I am going to move it over next to Brogor, the big orc.
The big orc.
I'm going to have it look like my awesome warhammer and swing at his nasty, ugly head.
Okay. He is the one who came and attacked you, so he's right in front of you.
How close is he?
Within
in front of
great
you.
axe reach of you.
Okay, in that case, I'm
You
going
could
to
go
move
like
it.
right behind him and then bonk him on the head.
Well, no. First, can I move it? How far is it to the
He
ogre?
wasn't jumping on the bed.
The ogre is maybe 15 to 20 feet away. The ogre is now engaged the group of orcs around the fire pit, as well as Sir Walter Moss and Ferris. And Bree is still at the cave entrance where you are, but she's hidden a few feet away from where you're standing.
Okay, since I did not understand the placement because I'm a moron, I'm going to move.
It's a lot of things you don't understand for that reason.
That is definitely true. Dead air, bad. I'm
No,
thinking-
that's fine.
All right, I'm
He's right in front of you. So I should have set the scene a little
Nope,
better to
that's
start.
okay.
But that idea of him stepping forward and hitting you with his great axe was the last action that happened.
Okay, I'm going to do something different then. I have a touch spell called Inflict Wounds that is an instant spell, first level. It's a melee spell attack that does 3 times 10 necrotic damage.
Good gosh.
Or
Nice.
three on a D10 necrotic damage. I almost never roll a 10. Is that
All
it?
right. So you have to attack first because you say it's a melee touch attack.
Right. So I have to.
You have to
you
find
should
out
have
whether or
a-
not you can bad touch him.
You should have a plus
Bad
to
touch.
It's
hit.
that D20 thing.
You're going to touch him in a bad place.
16
Bad touch.
That will hit.
plus
Yep.
something.
16 plus your attack modifier.
Yeah, you
Your
should have
normal-
your attack modifier.
Okay,
Right on
so
the
that'd be
character
20.
sheet there. Yeah, you got it. So a 20 definitely hits.
And now I rolled a 3d10 necrotic, right? Oh,
That
1.
is
Awesome.
correct.
7 and 3. 11. Not a
11,
great roll.
11 total damage.
11 total damage.
All right. I do not see any resistances
You
or
probably
anything for
could
him.
have just done more damage by nut punching him.
Well, this is. I'm not done my turn yet.
It's more of a necrotic nut punch.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is his balls will be rotting off. Pretty nasty.
Do you really think his will to fight would still be there if
I'm
his
not
balls were
sure he
rotting
would
off?
be the leader of the orcs if that were to happen to him.
No more orc babies.
Because I'm pretty sure orcs value that.
All right, so he is still in good shape.
It depends what you mean by good shape.
He is still standing.
He has not been reduced to 0 hit points.
Okay, in that case, I am, as my bonus action, going to cast the spiritual weapon that I previously
Okay.
referenced as my warhammer and do melee attack on him. 4 plus 4, 8.
Yeah, that's not going to hit. 8 will not hit.
Okay, but
So you did do the floating weapon, though, right?
right, and as part of spiritual weapon, if I understand it correctly,
If you do, then
I may have misinterpreted this spell. Because it says as a bonus action, I can move it up to 20 feet and repeat attack, but I can't have 2 bonus actions
You cannot.
in a turn.
But you can maintain it because this is a concentration spell.
Right.
right.
It lasts for 1 minute, so you can maintain it, and as on a bonus action on your next turn, move and attack with it.
Oh, so my next turn I move it. Okay.
All right.
So in that case, I guess I am done. Although
Okay.
I actually am going to move. I have not moved yet. I'm going to move 15 feet back away from big, nasty orc.
Now, you're going to
Remember,
provoke,
you're going to provoke an attack of opportunity
and he is going to
because you are
cut
not
in
using
half.
your
Right.
full round action to disengage.
I will not move. I will stand there and take it like a man.
All right. So who's up after Thor then?
That would be the 5 orcs.
The
Now-
5 orcs.
I know they're around me, and I
Yes, they are.
have second wind as a bonus action.
Okay.
It is not my turn. Can I bonus action second wind before they go?
No,
No, it's a reaction that you can do when it is not your turn. Is that right?
that's correct.
Right. Okay. Hey, I got a rule right. Look at me. Further proof that for people who want to be DM, you don't need to know the rules as long as you have players willing to look them up.
Or JJ in the room.
Yeah. So with those orcs, the 5 orcs that remain, I am going to start by having 2 of them attack Sir Walter Moss and 2 attack Ferris, and then the last one will decide. The first 2 attacks will decide the last one. Whew. I'm not going to speak while I just got coffee from my lovely wife. So a 10 plus 5 is 15 for
No.
the first. The second is 10 plus 5,
Nope.
also 15. So then the next two attacks head towards Ferris. I have a 9 plus 5 is 14.
No.
That will miss. What is your AC?
16.
16.
Staff of defense.
Nice. And then a 3 plus 5 is 8. That will miss. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the last orc, and I'm going to give him advantage against Moss. Because with 5 of them and the ogre there, somebody's going to be able to flank. So I'm giving the last guy that opportunity. A 1 and a 5.
Nice choice.
So...
Shock and awe work.
Yes, it did. So
They
all
are
of the
all
orcs,
discombobulated.
all of the orcs now have suffered some form of damage, and we'll just say it was that last one, the one that you knocked back into the ogre. Then the ogre charged forward, probably the dragged the orc with him, and that's the one who was able to get around and try some kind of flanking maneuver. But clearly, he's off his rocker. Who is after the 5 orcs?
The big orc.
Ooh, the big orc, Brugor. He is standing face to face with Thor, although he's probably looking down on you.
This may not end well.
It may not. Let's take another swing with the great axe, and this is a 1.
Yes.
A 1. Also, let it be known again that I am using the dice that came with the D&D starter set, so if there's any cheating involved, I have to blame Wizards of the Coast.
And that he is rolling without a screen.
Exactly. I'm rolling everything right out in the open, right on my notes that tell you how much life they have left, if you happen to be able to see that far.
That takes all the fun out of it.
So now it's Bree's turn. Bree is hidden,
So she
Bree
gets
is
advantage
so
on
she
this
gets
attack.
advantage on this attack.
And
she's
Bree
going
is
to
able to attack anything because you're at the cave entrance, so I won't give you any negatives.
So I'm going to attack the one closest to me.
The one that's engaged with Thor that just
Correct.
put its great axe into Thor's, well,
That's the big orc.
Thorness. Yeah.
A 5 and a 6 on the dice.
5 and a 6.
So it's 11.
11? That's going to miss.
Well, who did Thor hit with the guiding bolt?
I think he
No,
hit
I
the
used inflict
ogre.
damage to touch on the big ogre.
But didn't you use guiding bolt during the
You
last
used-
podcast?
Didn't you use aid on several people? What did that do? That was
Aid?
hit points.
Increase the 3 of our max hit points by
Okay.
5 and gave us 5.
Okay.
And then I used the Sacred Light cantrip.
Okay.
Okay.
I could have sworn
On
you
the
used
o- on
guiding
the
bolt.
ogre.
No, you did use guiding bolt because I supplied.
You're right. You're right.
So what does
Cross
that
off guiding
do?
bolt.
That was the one where we got like 15 damage.
Yeah, but it
on-
also gives a bonus to hit that one target.
Yeah, but I think that was on the ogre, not on
I think it
the
was on the
giant
ogre.
orc.
That was on the ogre.
Because you guys are really focusing
gives
on that
advantage
ogre.
on the next attack against him. I totally forgot about it.
Yeah, it's on the ogre, though.
All right. You live, you learn.
Oh, she had advantage
So-
anyway, so if that's what it was, unfortunately,
It still
it still
sucked.
missed.
She hit the orc. We're talking about the ogre.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you want
Question.
to...
Question.
Go ahead.
So now that I've attacked, I've lost. I'm no longer hidden. I
You can
can
hide
now
again.
use my cunning action to hide again.
You sure can. Let's see how cunningly actionable you are.
Woohoo! 18.
Pretty good.
All right, who's up after Bree?
That would be the ogre.
I roll just to see if somebody's going to spot her. I roll another 1.
She is
So-
stealthy.
I think that is 3 1s already out of about 10 rolls.
Yeah.
Keep him coming.
And I'm sorry, who did you say was next?
The ogre.
The ogre, Gog, is next. Gog has already swung at Ferris once. He's going to try and squish the squishy. Mommy, I can't hear him in noises. 11 plus... I got to get back to the ogre. He has a plus 6. That is 17 to hit.
I am going to use 2 charges of my staff of defense to cast shield,
Fantastic.
making myself a 20 AC.
All right, so it'll miss. So when you do that, his club that's headed right down towards you bounces off of it, and he's like, "Mommy,
That makes no sense.
it's on the head with that squishy." Who's up after Gog?
I think I'm ending
Ridiculousness.
Um,
Sir Walter Moss.
Yep. I
Where,
end the
where,
round.
no, me. You
Oh, we totally skipped
me.
you.
Yeah.
I go before the ogre. Initiative tracker over
skipped
here.
You.
All right, what do you want to do there,
Oh, my
Ferris?
goodness
The
gracious.
wizard.
I am
Because
going
you have
to...
6 adversaries with you and Moss, I won't let you flank anyone, but you are not being flanked except for that one extra attempt I did.
I am going to try to maximize my Burning Hand spell again. Mm-hmm. Can I... How many people do you think I can get inside a 15-foot cone?
I think you can get 4 out of the 6.
4 out of the 6.
Because
Alright.
there's going to be somebody around you that you're not
Yeah,
going to
exactly.
be able to focus forward.
And I will also make sure I sculpt the spell to ignore...
All right, then you can get 3.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. We'll let you ignore
So,
Mr. Moss.
let's do 4 saving throws, a DC 13 dex.
And I assume you probably want the ogre to be one of them.
Yes, please, if we could.
Yep. So we'll do... The ogre has 14 as his saving throw.
Well, he
So
sucks
15
ass.
minus 1. And then we're going to do 3 orcs. And what was it again? Dex?
A
you said?
DC 13 dex, yeah.
Dex. Orcs get a +1 for that. So I have a 20 on the
20.
die. A 1 on the die. This die is like polar opposite. And a 14, which makes it a 15. So we have 1 save. What was the DC?
DC 13.
13. So 2 saves. I have 2 saves with the orcs.
I thought all but one of them saved.
Yeah, because the ogre,
Yeah.
Okay.
the ogre saved, yeah.
The
Okay.
ogre saved with the orcs. 2 saved, 1 did not.
11 damage.
All right, and we're going to pick the first 3 here. All right, so what that is going to do is turn the 3 orcs extra crispy.
Woohoo!
They are done.
Nice.
And you said 11 damage?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you singe the ogre's kneecap. It doesn't seem to mind it that much.
No.
Is an ogre after all, right? Who is up after?
I guess now it's
So
me.
now it's
Sir
Sir
Moss.
Walter
There we
Moss,
go.
Since
So,
I skipped the wizard.
Hopefully I have access to the ogre without provoking from someone else, because I would like to hack
You're
on
just in
him.
a big mess, so yeah, definitely.
So hopefully take him out so he doesn't take...
And with this
the
burst
wizard
of flame that just went on a moment before you make this decision, 3 of the orcs fall away anyway. So now, in reality, what you've got is 2 orcs and an ogre, where the 2 of you are.
2 orcs
The
and
other
an ogre.
orcs are screaming and falling to the ground.
All right. Come on, Felicity.
That's the axe's name.
17.
17 will hit.
Yes.
And this is the ogre.
Just so we all know,
Yeah.
I'm at 4.
4.
4 kills.
Ooh. 14.
So
No
what
one
was
likes
on
a
the die?
bragger.
It was 11 on the
11,
die.
11 plus 3.
Plus 3 is
Okay.
14 slashing damage to that ogre.
Took 'em out.
16. I can't do math. I hate subtraction, but I always do it that way. I should just add them up. I remember as a side note, I think you used to, in 4th edition, you added up, right?
Yep.
Not subtracted. I always subtract it, and I suck at subtraction. So
And I guess while I'm at it, can I do second wind?
I don't
Yeah.
see why not.
Bonus section.
That's your fighter.
Fighter thing that I get
What is it called again?
second wind,
It is second wind. Okay, sorry.
where I get 1d10 plus my fighter level, so 1d10 plus 3.
Plus con, right?
Not
It's fighter
on-
level on that one.
Oh.
It's not a hit dice. It's
just that, okay.
so I'm not using a hit dice, but I'm getting essentially what I get back.
So this is a burst of 1 hit point plus 3.
So I get 4
4 hit
back.
points.
Whoopee.
If you want, I can take them right away by letting the ogre attack you next.
He might. I don't know.
Well, it depends on what happens to Ferris in the meantime. Who's up after Sir Walter Moss?
Back to the
Top of
top.
the order.
Back to the top
Mr.
with
Thor.
Thor. So I'll reset the stage for you here on this 3rd round of combat. We have what was a group, a large group of, 5, 6, 7, 8 things around people and orcs and ogres around this fire pit. And after the end of that last round of combat, 3 of the orcs have just fallen away, smoldering on the ground. So 2 orcs, an ogre, and Sir Walter Moss and Ferris remain in that little clump of melee. Right at the cave entrance is Thor face-to-face with Brugor, and Bree kind of hidden off to the side. And that's where we pick up the 3rd round of combat with Thor.
Rugor is
Excellent.
such a good name.
So first, as a bonus action, I want to move my floating spectral warhammer over towards Brugger
Yep.
and whop him on the head.
Bonk, bonk on the head.
8 plus 4, 12.
Oh, 12 is going to miss.
This spectral weapon, or spiritual weapon, is blowing chunks.
It's too new. You haven't figured out the heft, the balance.
By spectral weapon, you mean 20-sided die.
Yeah. How are we on hit points, crew?
We are low. We're running low.
Except for Bree.
Except for Bree.
Am I within 30 feet of
as it should be, right?
Sir Walter
Everyone.
Moss? I am. We're all.
Everybody is close enough. Yeah, that as long as your range is between 20 and 50 feet, you'll be able to do whatever it is you're looking for.
All right. It's not a huge heal, but I'm going to use Channel Divinity, which allows me to either turn undead or preserve life. Gets restored after a short rest. I'm going to use the preserve life option to distribute 10 hit points among one or more targets within 30 feet, but I can't bring them up more than to half their max.
Then
So
it's on you or you two.
You can bring
Yeah.
me to 15 hit points. I can take 5 of those.
you can take 5, and I can take 5. No, that's not right. My max.
You
was
took a
31.
20-something hit last time.
I'm at 13.
Right, and your total is
36.
My max is. That's right. It's 36 now.
so 18 is
So
half.
I can
Right.
take 18. So I'll take 5, and you'll take 5.
Yep.
There you
That's
go.
it. There he is.
And
10's used.
we're done.
So your divinity has been channeled. Who's up after
Thank
Thor?
you, Moth Morduin.
That would be the orcs. The
The
two orcs.
The 2 orcs that remain. So these are numbers 5 and 6. The only damage they've taken so far has been from that first thunder wave. So the 2 of them, I'm just going to give one attack towards Sir Walter Moss and the other attack towards Ferris. The first one towards Moss will miss. It's a 9 plus 5 is 14. And the one towards Ferris is a 16 plus 4 is 20. Ooh.
I cannot make that miss, so I will take it like a man.
Okay, 20, and that orc has a great axe, which is a D12 plus 3. 7 plus 3 is 10.
Yes, I'm so glad I got those hit points.
You would have been down.
I should have cast that as a second level spell and given us. Oh, no, it wouldn't help us.
You can.
Can't go past that half
That's right.
point. All right, so the orcs are done, and after them is Brugor, I believe.
After them, it's correct.
All right, so Brugor is still face-to-face with Thor with this magical mystery hammer trying to bonk him on the head. He's none too pleased about that, so he swings his great axe, a 14 plus, I keep forgetting what it's, plus 5, that's 19 to hit.
That'll hit. I'm 18.
All right, and he gets, it's the same, that great axe again. A 5 plus 3 is 8 damage.
8 takes me to 10. I'm still kicking.
All right, and who's up after Brugor?
The wizard.
Wizard Faddis. What you got for him? So you've got 2 orcs and an ogre in front of you.
I will be doing magic missile on the ogre. Mm-hmm. All right, so first magic missile.
Pew!
3 damage.
Ping 3.
Is he still alive?
Yep.
5 more damage.
Yep.
5 more damage.
Still alive.
He's still alive. He has not yet been reduced to 0 hit points.
That's all right. That's a solid performance.
All right.
Oh, that was outstanding. I mean, you brought him down quite a bit.
13
No.
damage guaranteed.
Bree
So
comes
Bree is up
out
next.
of hiding and is going to go try to whack the big orc.
All right, that's Brugor.
Thanks, Bree.
No!
What is it? What is it? Give me a number.
11.
All right, so 11 will miss.
I know.
Why'd
Just
you
as a
use the big
note,
guy?
11 would hit the ogre because they suck with AC. But,
But he's the one that's next to me.
all right, so
So she's going to try to hide again.
go ahead and hide.
14.
14, yeah.
You're not rolling like double digits. You kind of need to get to that
Shut up.
first.
The thing is, you got to get more of a roll. You're doing.
I think you got a 5% chance to
You
get
gotta-
any one of the
you
numbers
gotta
on there.
roll
That's
it.
about what it boils down
See,
to.
look, I got her 1.
14.
Who's up after Bree?
Me?
The ogre, then Sir Walter Moss.
All right, so Gog takes his possibly last swing at Ferris. Just as to me, a kind of a funny side note to this, they actually say on the encounter that Gog, the ogre, he fights until slain because he's too stupid to do otherwise. They say he's just big, dumb, a filthy, dumb ogre. But he fights until he is slain. So
In the
what could
monster
be his
manual, they
last
describe
attack?
him as like fat and lazy.
A 4 plus 5 is a 9. Actually, it's plus 6, but that's still 10. That's not going to hit
That
Ferris.
is not connect.
All right, so Gog has taken his turn. And I think Ferris was up after. No.
Nope.
Nope.
Sir
Walter
Walter
Moss.
Moss.
Sir Walter Moss is up after
He's
him.
going to
And
get his kill count.
I'm really hoping that Felicity will really bite into him this time.
Let's
and,
find out. So,
finish
orcs or
him off.
ogre?
Ogre.
All right. Mike's peeking over at my notepad here.
Everyone wants me to die.
20.
20
Natural
will
20.
hit. Is it a natural
nice.
20?
Natural 20.
Do you want to see how
Wow.
much overkill you have on him?
Sure.
I will tell you before you start, he has 3 hit points left. Let's see how far you get into his.
No,
you
I-
need
You gotta
a
use die
D12.
12, not
Yeah.
die 10. There you go.
Yeah. Make it big. 5, 1,
So that would be 5 and 5, 10, 11.
11. So not too
Or,
bad.
or 13. One of the two.
It's either 11.
Since you needed 3, we'll say that either one was good enough.
How many hit
So,
points did he have? That was a big.
The ogre started with 59 hit points.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big
And
kill, Sir Walter Moss. Big kill.
Yeah.
I'm using, by the way, the static numbers they offer. As another as a side point here. In this adventure, they give you a static number, but they also give you the opportunity, the die formula, to roll the hit points. So the ogre could have had up to 91, because it's 7d10 plus 21.
That's
Wow.
ridiculous.
But the number they give it is that average of 59. And that's what I'm doing for all of them. I'm giving them their average number rather than rolling them up. People who want to play more detailed could give individual hit points to each one, which could be useful. But that could also give you an ogre with 28 hit points, which is a little bit easier to kill.
Yeah.
Right. Next,
Top of the order,
is
Thor.
Do we have a
So-
Staples button? That was easy.
That was easy. Yeah, after that first round, if they had come back and hit you guys again, whew, and they still could. Let's not rule that out. So, Thor, you still have Brugor standing right in front of you. The ogre is currently in the process of being felled like a big flesh tree by Sir Walter Moss. And there are 2 orcs that are still standing where Ferris and Moss are.
All right.
Oh, and roll a d20, if you would, please. And what's your wisdom modifier?
So it was 11 plus 3.
All right, you see Bree very unsuccessfully attempting to hide next to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Brugor has also seen her trying to hide. You notice his eyes following her.
Okay. Great floating spectral weapon. Let's
Not
see
so-
if
not so
three's
great.
a charm, right?
Let's try it.
Ogre is down, so I'm going to have it swing at Brugor's head.
Yep.
God, this weapon blows so bad.
What'd you roll?
5 plus 4.
5 plus 4, 9. That will miss.
Use your regular attack now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to.
It's the bonus action to allow it to attack. Right?
Exactly.
All
I
right.
think I am going to use my cantrip, the Sacred Flame,
Okay.
which is the 1d8 radiant damage against a dexterity saving throw.
All right. He has a +1 to his saving throw. I roll a 7 plus 1 is 8. He fails.
All right.
So what is the damage?
So, sorry. Oh, there's so many dice.
The octahedron.
Dos. Dos damage.
Two
Two
massive damage.
All right. Brugor is still not been reduced to 0 hit points.
I got this, guys.
Who's up next? The 2 orcs next?
That's a lot of work for
2 orcs.
Two
yeah.
orcs.
All right, so those 2 orcs, I'm going to do the same thing again. One with Moss, and that is a 16 plus 4.
That one
No,
actually.
plus 5. That's 21 to hit.
That actually hits this time.
Okay, the damage is a D12 plus 3, so 3 plus 3 is 6 damage.
All right.
And the second attack at Ferris is a 20 on the die,
Oh, yeah. That'll hit.
which means
He gets a double.
2d12 plus 3.
Bye, guys.
That's a 2
Doesn't matter.
and
Bye.
a 9, so that's 11 plus 3 is 14.
I am at -13.
So the great axe is all over the place. Moss is wielding one. The orcs and the big orc were wielding great
Yeah.
axes. They're just dealing damage
I'm at
all over the
-9.
place. So the 2 orcs are done, and who's up after them?
Big orc.
Big orc is going to take another swing
I
at
am 3 hit
Thor.
points away from dead.
Brugor, another 20 on the die at Thor.
Jeez.
So 2d12.
Here goes your
There's a
healer.
12
Oh,
Both
I'm,
of them.
I'm
and
done.
a 5. That's 17 plus 3 is 20 damage
Ooh.
to Thor.
-10.
All right.
All right. Write it down.
Write it down. Who's up after Brugor?
It would be the wizard.
Spectral weapon goes.
Well, spectral weapon, or you can do
Well,
a
you know what?
save.
Death saving throw.
Should I have been getting spectral weapon? Don't I have to have concentration?
Yeah, you can maintain as long as you don't cast another spell that requires concentration. You can keep
Even if I'm
concentration.
getting wailed in the gut with a great
Yep.
axe?
Yep. You don't have to roll concentration.
There's-
Concentration is a way to limit you to only one of that type of spell at a
Gotcha.
time.
Gotcha.
20
There
on
is-
the death saving throw.
I didn't roll yet.
Wait, if
Oh.
you cast another spell, you lose
I
it?
was all pumped.
If you cast another spell,
It requires concentration.
requires concentration.
Yeah.
But taking damage, yes, you should have been. The
Is it?
DC, you make a Constitution saving throw to maintain your concentration. The DC equals 10
Plus
or
the damage.
half the damage you take, whichever number is higher.
I didn't think they had that in there. That's good. Good that we look them up.
It makes sense. I
Whenever
shouldn't be
you
able to
have
take-
a concentration spell going and you take damage, you have to roll.
Yep, a DC 10 is the minimum, or half the damage you take.
What if
And
you're at negative 10 hit points?
that would be
I think that's just a death saving throw. You don't have to worry about concentration.
Yeah, so can we remind the listeners at home and me what happens now that we're dead?
We're about to find out.
Ooh.
JJ's doing his first death saving
And he
throw.
failed it.
it failed.
So right in the middle of the character sheet there, the middle column on the front, it has a section that shows how many death saving throws. And
You get 3 failures before you die, or 3 successes before you stabilize.
a
I can't- I
saving
have
throw
potion of
is flat out 10 or better, you
can't shove it
succeed,
down my
9 or
throat.
less.
I can.
you
9 or
fail.
less. So you have a
Yeah.
55% chance of succeeding.
Okay. So you failed the first one.
I did.
Okay.
All right, so Bree. Is Bree carrying any healing potions?
Probably. We all have some.
It's
Who
possible.
remembers?
But there's
I-
that orc right in front of Thor that probably needs to be tended to first.
I know.
If I were conscious, I would tell you that we had 2 potions of healing from the Nothix chest.
No, we have a bunch of.
We got one from the bug out bag.
Like, is she carrying one?
I mean, we
We use
used
one. We've got at
some
least
of
2.
them.
If we had 3, we used 1.
So is she carrying one on her person?
Kill the thing, Mick.
Is she carrying one on her
I'm
person?
going to
Yes.
say yes.
Thank you. So, DM, would you allow her to
Tie it to an arrow and shoot it into Ferris's mouth.
chuck it to Sir Walter Moss
Uh-huh.
and then take aim at the big orc?
What I would add there as an arbitrary rule, because I would say normally no. However, I'd let you do it as long as he makes a successful dexterity check with a DC of 10 to catch it. Otherwise, it shatters on the ground.
I want to just hold on to it.
All right, fine. My group is telling me to hold on to it, so she's going to try to hit
The orc.
the orc, and she finally gets him.
I would
19.
say so. 19 definitely hits.
No, sorry, makes it to 20.
Yeah.
And so there's an enemy. There's
no.
an ally next to her.
No.
Next to him? Oh, no, because he's unconscious.
Yeah, unless it allows for negative 10 hit points.
You still did max damage.
Okay.
Max damage, 9.
9 damage, so 6 plus 3, 9. Brugor takes that arrow to the neck and falls over dead.
Oh, yes!
Booyah!
He gurgles for a half a moment on his own orcish spit and blood and falls back wide-eyed onto the ground.
Awesome.
So she turns around and
I'm
kicks
cheering
dirt
while
on him.
unconscious.
And when that happens, the other 2 orcs hear his noises and turn and look like they're afraid as well. Who's up after Bree?
So when they turn, do
yeah.
they see like little little Bree like,
Probably, yes.
pointing at them?
All right.
You're next.
And
Sir
Moss
Walter.
will
Moss.
hit one of those orcs with Felicity.
So the remaining enemies are 2 orcs that are right in the same area as Sir Walter Moss and Ferris.
15 might hit him.
A 15 will hit.
Yes. 4 damage, though.
4 damage. Okay, and we're going to say that's number 5. We have 5 and 6 left.
All right. Thor makes a death saving throw.
Thor, go ahead and make a death saving throw. Roll 10 or better on a d20.
Sometimes I roll slow, sometimes I roll quick. 16.
Yeah.
All right, so that's one successful death saving throw. And who's up after Thor?
The orcs.
All right, Sir Walter Moss, do you want to take a swing at one as they run away towards the cave opening?
Yes.
All right, they will both provoke, but as it is as a reaction, you can only use 1 attack of opportunity. Is that still true, by the way? Mm-hmm. All right.
20.
A 20 or a 20 on the die?
Nope, 15 on the die.
15 plus 5. Okay. So go ahead, and we'll give you the same one that you just...
9 damage.
9?
Slashing.
All right, so you cut one down, slice right down the middle of his back, maybe sever his spine as he's running away. The other gets out towards the cave entrance and goes running out.
I holler to Bree.
Take him out.
The only chance of
do I get
stopping
to-
him would be you.
Do I
but
get
he's
to-
he's not running past you and provoking anything.
Bastard.
Since they know where you are now, you didn't hide at the end of your last action.
Better run.
He's running to avoid you, not towards you.
Although
Better
you're up
run.
next, aren't
So
you?
there's one orc left, and he is currently running away. Brugor and Gog are both defeated, so they are no longer in initiative order. Who's up next?
Wizard.
Well, yeah, roll my thing. Success.
Save.
I'm on a 12.
Success.
Can Bree roll to try to pick him as
You
he's
sure
running
can.
away?
Yep.
Gosh darn it. 11.
So what's on 6?
6 on the die.
Plus 5 is 11. That will miss.
And then it's me.
And that's Sir Walter Moss.
I am going to try the...
What is your speed?
my speed is 30 feet.
Okay, so watching the orc run away, you're pretty sure you can't run faster than he is.
That's why I'm going to try the thing that I've never done before and
Uh-oh.
chuck a javelin at him.
All right, so you're going to pick one up off the ground, throw it at him, or do you actually have one?
I actually have javelins, but if there's one in the
They
vicinity,
had them
I'll
laying
just
around
chuck
on the
that
ground.
one.
Okay. So go ahead. Let's do a thrown weapon attack.
Nope, 10.
A
Sorry.
10. All right. So what do you have as a modifier? I mean, what'd you roll? What'd
It's
you have?
plus 5. I got 5 plus 5.
So thrown weapon is still the same attack
still
modifier
have
as a
the
melee?
same-
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Who's up after Sir Walter
Thor.
Moss?
Back to the top, so I
Back
got
to
to roll
the top,
my death
another
save.
death saving throw.
20.
20.
20.
See, 20 should count as 2,
Now, I
think.
thought 20 did
Doesn't
do something.
bring
I
it back
did.
to 1?
Joe
Brings it
Joe
back
does
to 1.
something about that, but I don't know if the rules
The
do.
rules don't stipulate anything.
So as far as
I
I
could've
am
sworn.
concerned,
We do-
yeah. So somebody take a look while we take the next step. I think after Thor is the orcs.
Correct.
So he is gone out of sight at this point. He gets around a little hillock, around an edge, the edge of something, and you no longer see him.
Damn it.
And just
hate
going
an
by
incomplete
game
kill.
mechanics, he has a 30 feet movement, and he's doubling his move. So he's going
right.
twice as fast. And I think everybody has 30 or less movement. So by the numbers, nobody's going to catch him.
Although I
But
can
if you
chuck
think
up to
about
120.
if you think about the way this is set up, you just killed his boss. He has no one to go run and report to.
I mean,
So
Mickey
he's now
can
just
fire
a-
another time with disadvantage if
He's
she
a
wanted to.
Bandless orc. Right now, you can't see him though. He
Can't
runs
see him.
around a hill.
rolling
Go ahead.
rolling a 1 on the d20 counts as 2 failures. Rolling a 20, you regain 1 hit point.
There you
So
go.
it is
There you
there.
go.
Good.
Look at
Now, you regain 1 hit point is not you get to 1 hit point, is it?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
that. Yeah.
You get to 1 hit point.
Because you start at 0 when
Yes.
you gain. So you are...
The only reason you track
back up.
negative amount is because if you reach, if one of the enemies were to decide to stab you in the throat while you're laying there, if you reach your negative half hit points, that's when you die.
Dead.
Ah,
All right.
good
So
things for
we're
the
going
listeners at home.
to
So I'm alive.
we're going to drop out of initiative, and now let's see how we're going to handle the wounded characters.
Yep. So,
So
he's,
Thor is
he
stabilized.
stabilizes on his own.
Yep.
I need to, probably before anyone else comes to me, roll another.
Go ahead and roll one more.
I fail. I have 2 failures, 1
Okay.
success.
So,
So
at
he
this
needs
point,
healing.
somebody can give him a healing potion.
I'm alive, and I can probably heal.
Oh, you could actually cast a healing spell? Aren't you the cleric?
What?
Hey, I cast Aid today.
You did. Aid, and you channel divinity as
and
well.
I did channel divinity.
So with that, though...
I still have a Cure Wounds,
Okay.
which is a touch spell. Mm-hmm. Regains.
Oh, hobble your little ass over here.
I
If I give
holler...
you even 1, you're good, right?
yeah, just
I holler
Right,
to
so
Thor that he needs to bring our healer back.
Yeah, Thor. yeah.
At which point, Thor thinks about taking his warhammer to Sir Walter Moss.
Thor, can you resurrect the healer so the party can...
Next time I stand around in combat just using sacred light or whatever it is. Remind me that I have a Warhammer.
You
The
did.
actual Warhammer.
1d8 plus 2.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I wasn't
I'm
swinging
not sure
that.
either, but it's there.
Okay, Cure Wounds is touch. Target, which will be the Great Ferris, regains 1d8 plus my spellcasting ability modifier, which is plus 5. So
Plus your life.
plus my healing spells are particularly effective because of Disciple of Life, and you gain additional hit points equal to 2 plus the spell's level. The spell's level is 1, so it'll be another 3.
So 1d8 plus 8.
1d8 plus 8.
You want to roll it or mine?
Nice.
Go for it.
I guess I better roll it.
He says that. And as soon as it hits, he's going to say, "Oh, maybe you should roll it."
3 plus 8.
11 hit points.
That's not bad.
It's great.
We'll take it.
All right. So right
Better
now,
than being dead.
you guys are in this cave.
Loot the bodies.
You're going to loot the bodies and look around. Since everybody is now conscious, even if badly injured.
For the record,
Yeah.
Bree
Did you even take a
didn't
hit?
even get hit.
Well, it just
Your
means you're on
manicure
your
is still
the
good.
idea.
Your manicure and pedi are still good.
All right.
Her hair is
If-
perfectly coiffed.
If the party deals with the orcs and the ogre, I guess deals with, in this case, means kill them, because you did. It is 1,250 experience divided evenly.
Wow.
Holy moly.
This is why you guys are getting beat up on. They're pretty tough.
1250, is that what you said?
Yep.
Yeah,
Should be
1,250. And with that, just to give you guys a note here, the ogre itself, like I said, he had 59 hit
312,
points.
whatever. I rounded up.
But he is, let's see, I'm just looking at the stat block for him. He himself is 450 experience.
Wow.
Killing an ogre is 450 experience. So that was where a big chunk of that came from.
We should hunt ogres then.
Yeah, let's just find an ogre hideout.
Let's go grind on some ogres.
So we're at
Also within the creatures themselves, the orcs and the ogre do not have anything on them. It appears everything they had is inside of a treasure chest inside of the cave.
Ooh, I love treasure chests.
It is actually sitting there open, so it is not locked. And it has, so whoever wants to make note of this, 750, that's 750 copper pieces, 180 silver, 62, that's 62 electrum pieces. I still get a kick out of electrum. 30 gold pieces.
I
And
read Electrum this week is like just half a gold.
it's weird.
Like, why
Why
need
bother?
half a
And
gold?
3 vials of perfume. I'll have to ask my manager. 3 vials of perfume that are worth 10 gold pieces each. So for the sake of money, you can
Why?
just write 10 gold pieces each.
Because it smells nice.
Why do they have perfume?
From the look of the orcs' clothing and
for
the
date night.
stuff that you see laying around, it looks like they probably ransacked a village on their way here before they set up camp here, because there's stuff of different colors and makes laying around that are useless, but apparently the orcs like the smell of this perfume, which I'm not sure why you'd want it then. It's one of those odd things they put in here. The beaver pelts. I mean, why is there a room with just 30 beaver pelts in it?
'Cause beavers
Why
feel
is
good.
it that the orcs only have coins and perfume? I don't know, but they did. Aside from that, they had their weapons. They did not have any arrows. So as far as counting arrows goes, you can get half of what you shot back. And they had the javelins. I don't know if anyone wants those. A great axe. You've already got what you want there. They had hide armor, but that's about it. But now you have a kind of a sheltered spot if you guys need to or want to take a rest.
yes.
Heck
So
yes.
decide how you want to do that, how you want to finish up this this encounter before we take a move on.
Well, seeing as Cragwall Castle's a long way away, I would say let's just take a long rest and then head out to Cragwall Castle.
So as part of that, what you'd want to do is get your hit points up, of course, before you go. But if you think about the trip from where you are to get to Cragmaw Castle, if you took the most direct route, would be about 8 days. You're going to get 8 nights of sleep along the way as well.
Okay.
Because they consider travel in here as you're traveling for 10 hours, sleeping for 6, and spending the rest of the time making and breaking camp, hunting for small game, gathering berries, whatever.
Making
so-
new arrows.
So they give you 10. Yeah, they give you 10 hours of travel per day, which gives you plenty of time to sleep each day as well.
All right, so we would just head out.
Yeah, well, you might want to have hit points before you walk out of the cave, is my point. So maybe a rest, whether it be short or long, but then you will get long rests along the way.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we
and
need to go back and see the Red Wizard?
it's up to you guys if you want to swing by there.
Tell them that
He wasn't really going to give us a reward, or he didn't promise a reward.
That
He
is
just
correct.
sort of was like, you guys can go and take care of it if you really want.
Well, didn't we make a deal
Yeah,
with
we made
him
a
that
deal
he would
that
tell us what his business was? If we, I mean,
Correct.
I don't want to spend a lot of time, but if it's on our way back, I wouldn't mind checking
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah,
He said he would
the
tell us what
bargain
his
was-
business
If you take
was.
the most direct route to Cragmaw Castle, it is not on the way. You probably have to go 2 days out of your way.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, like Gundren can wait, right?
Yeah. Fuck that guy.
He's an orc dwarf.
At some point, I'm perfectly happy to go to Cragmaw Castle, but
I don't
He
think
told-
the spider kills his victims.
So let's do
He
this.
just keeps them hostage for a while.
Let me take a few
hope
seconds
so.
to read this little spot about that wizard and see what information he can give you. You guys talk about how you're healing, because now you're only going to get a day of rest, one full rest before you reach him again. So figure out how you're doing your hit points with your spells and what
Doesn't
have you.
full rest bring you back up to full?
I don't- does
Let's
it?
see.
I thought it let you gain a certain amount, but not full.
Full.
Instead of
You're not
regular
full,
full.
full?
So talk amongst
it is pretty
yourselves.
nice if you think about that. Sleeping the night could heal, deep intestinal cleavage or cleaving.
cleavings.
Intestinal cleavage. Does that turn you on?
There's chest
Does
cleavage,
intestinal cleavage?
butt cleavage, under boob, and intestinal cleavage.
For the listeners at home, we're not even drinking today.
That's
Nope.
what's sad. Jeez Louise. Well, in 4th edition, I remember a long rest restored you to full hit points. That was always awesome.
changed.
Where is
Keep talking.
it? What are you? All right, so
We're
Drop
checking
in
out
a
the starter
zero.
set rulebook to
Yeah, I am.
see the effect of a long rest on hit points and our general sense of well-being and self-worth.
And
Now,
I saw
you
Mike
are-
had his player's handbook. You're more than welcome to look at that as well, even though we might not take that one as gospel here. They shouldn't conflict.
They should not.
they should.
They shouldn't, no.
So, Thor is at 1 hit point, though, right?
No, I'm at. Well, hecky Becky, I didn't write down where. Yeah, you're right.
Becky. You're at 1.
You were at 1 hit point.
I'm at 1. You're right. Oh yeah, I have 1 circled here.
So you... why are we hecking Becky?
Becky, Becky. That's my new favorite thing ever. If we named things after, named the episodes after things we said, this episode would definitely be called Hacky Becky.
Aw, shucks.
Gosh. shucks.
Oh, curse blushing.
Certainly peachy keen of you to say that. So did we find it?
I am still looking.
Well, let
I
me...
found a thing about healing, but
All right.
healing doesn't help me at all.
Not necessarily. We're looking for rest.
Looking for
Yeah,
rest.
I think
rests-
Mike has a much better index here. Hey, Kurt, here, you take this one and you take a look as well.
Cheers.
Maybe we can find that. What we're going to do
Between
to
all of
start,
us.
though, is we're going to get you
Here
on
we
the
go.
way
Here we
there.
go. I found it.
And here we found
Long
it.
rest.
At the end of a long rest, the character regains all lost hit points.
Okay.
The character also regains all spent hit dice up to a total number of hit dice equal to half of the totals. Sorry. The character also regains spent hit dice up to a total of dice equal to half of the character's total number of them. Whew. Blah.
All right, so then I think all we need to do then is say that the long rest you take in the 2-day journey to get there is going to get you guys back to where you needed to be.
Yep.
Okay. At which point you arrive back at the old Owl Well. The same tent is set up in that courtyard.
We need proof that we killed the orcs, don't we?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Can I just,
Take a hand.
take a hand or a head or an ear?
Yeah,
Sure.
Ear. That's easy to carry.
it's an easy
Barbaric
thing to
little
carry.
rogue.
I am.
So you arrive there, and you do
Chuck the ear at them. They're dead.
just throw the ear in the tent.
Oh, well, I mean, we'll introduce ourselves as we're walking up. That
No,
way
I'm
he
just
can
going
come
to throw the ear in there.
Okay.
We took care of him.
Take that.
Well, Wanda throws the ear. I have said,
Ears your sign,
Mr. Red Wizard, we've taken care of the
Mister.
orcs for you.
Mr. Red Wizard. My name isn't Red Wizard.
What is it then?
What's your name?
Oh, I'm not even going to tell you now, jerks. All right, so you took care of the orcs. That's great. So
So
what
what's
is
your
it you want
business?
from
So
owls?
what business do you have here?
He tells you that he has set up his campsite here, and he has been scouring the ruins and anything he can find, looking for arcane lore, and he is particularly seeking out any magical bits that were left behind. And he also mentions that one of the things he really wants to do after he packs up here is to go talk to the Banshee, Agatha.
Why do you want to talk to the Banshee?
Oh, I have my own business with her.
Well, she and I are close.
Really?
So perhaps the business that
Somehow
you have...
you don't appear to be a 5-century-old elf.
Well, we're friends.
Do our hair, together.
We do our hair together.
Silver combs.
So perhaps, I can help you
Well,
with that.
perhaps if you make your way to her, you could ask her a question for me.
And what is it that you need to know from the Banshee?
I need to know the name of the wizard who built the tower here at the Old Owl Well.
Does anyone have a history check?
That history check won't do it.
No.
He specifically wants to ask Agatha that.
Have you found any magical bits here that you couldn't have been able to identify, or
Nothing of concern to you.
That means yes.
what if I had some monetary recompense for it?
Hold, please. I want to see what that actually means. And no, not definition-wise. It's not another
It
Sikori
means that
joke.
he's willing to pay him.
I think, see, they don't give me a monetary amount for a magic item. Let's put it this way. He'll answer that with, I do have a specific trinket in my tent that I would be willing to sell, but I doubt you could afford it.
Well, give us a number.
I mean,
Well, tell us what it is.
Are you even carrying 500 gold pieces?
oh yes, very much so.
Well, then perhaps you would be interested in a protective ring.
A protective ring, huh?
Can you scan it to make sure it's not a BS protective ring?
Would you
A ring
allow
of
me
death.
would you allow me to detect magic on it?
Yes, while I hold it.
Yeah, that's fine. Waka 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 waka.
It is indeed a magical ring.
And
Is
it
it
does
worth
what?
And are you identifying it or detecting magic?
Is it abjuration? Is it of the abjuration school?
Oh crap! I don't know if a ring of protection is or isn't.
It's
Probably.
an abjuration.
There you go.
So yes, it's of the abjuration school, which means it's not a necromantic ring, so not a ring of death, as Mike would say. So yeah, I think this would actually benefit our party if we were to acquire this item.
Well, what does something like this
Go for.
do?
There's something like this would make it would apply a kinetic barrier around a person that make them slightly harder to hit,
Nice.
or at least allow you to take blows easier.
Sounds like something a cleric could use.
Or frontman fighter.
A fighter.
He needs something that allows him to give blows easier. Well, at least for the spectral hammer. Why? What were you thinking?
Yeah, that was. I was just thinking about the beavers.
Oh man! So he does. He says for 500 gold pieces, I would let you have this item. I
500
found.
All right, so
gold,
what
that's
we're going to do
ridiculous.
is we're
Wait.
going to use up all the electrum and copper and silver and pay him in what amounts to pennies.
Excuse me. I
Give
got a
him a
roll of
bag
pennies.
of
I got
pennies.
a sock full of rolls of nickels for you, buddy.
We don't have a
That's
lot.
expensive.
We do have a lot much gold easily.
Can we talk them down to maybe 350?
Mike, can I see your player's handbook?
Sure.
I want to lick the pages.
Awesome.
Can we talk talk them down?
can
to
I
like
use-
He
350?
just hands it over.
Can I use persuasion to see if we can
Oh my
knock
gosh, they
it down
printed this
from
Yeah.
500 to 350?
Seeing that we did take care of the orc problem.
We did take care of the orc
I
problem,
mean, you sort of
exactly.
owe us a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Someone else may need to find it. I thought it'd be easy as looking up a magic item. I'm curious how far off I am by saying 500, but that's what I'm saying. They have to have magic item prices.
Yeah.
Not yet.
somewhere.
Not until the DMG comes
Not
out.
even in Player's Handbook, a structure for them? Nothing?
Not until the DMG comes out. No
Well,
magic
all right
items.
then. There you go. 500 it is.
Well, Sir Walter Moss is going to use persuasion to bring him down to 350.
You sure can try. Let's see what
Nope.
you got.
You have to be trained in it, or can you just roll?
You can use it.
I'm going to
No,
try to persuade him with my fists.
I think one persuasion was enough.
one
Okay.
persuasion.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just because if he's not going to be convinced to lower the price, he's not going to be convinced to lower the price.
Can I?
Because
do
he wasn't
intimidate?
convinced to begin with.
I mean, you could try to do an intimidate.
Intimidate?
It's a different thing.
Yeah, I'm going to
And
intimidate him.
He has zombies.
You do smell the 12 zombies still.
I'm still going to intimidate him.
He's still going to try.
15.
All right, so intimidation is what now? What is that based off of?
Charisma.
So that would be a wisdom check against. Let's see. Where is he in here?
It's charisma, not strength.
Wisdom.
What is persuasion off of? Charisma?
Charisma.
11. And what did
There's
you
no
have?
Difference?
15.
Yeah, okay. So I had a 15 plus 1 for his wisdom.
Ooh.
So there you go.
All right.
So
And
15?
As far as numbers go, he is not convinced.
Fine. Give him that damn 500.
Now,
I hope he chokes on it.
he might. Especially if it's all
But
copper
I'm
pieces.
being serious. I'm being passive aggressive with the copper,
Oh, that
the
doesn't-
silver,
yeah.
the electrum.
It won't bug him at all. His zombies are going to carry everything for him anyway. It doesn't really matter.
I hope you choke on it.
Yeah, he probably will.
But hey, +1 AC.
So let's.
Oh.
Am I correct in that assumption? +1 AC.
It's a ring of protection plus 1 armor class. It's a ring of protection plus 1, which means plus 1 armor class. Yes.
Aren't you glad we went back there?
Oh, it is. While you are wearing this ring and are attuned to it, so that's another thing. Since we're starting to pick things up, you can only be attuned to 3 things at a time. You attune during a short rest. And while you're wearing this ring and are attuned to it, you have a +1 bonus to your armor class and saving throws.
Oh wow! +1 all saving throws.
Where is the long sword?
I have it.
Okay. So you have the long sword and the staff.
I'm attuned to 2 things.
Okay. Now from here, let's head off towards Cragmaw Castle.
Yes.
Okay.
And we are going to take, since you guys took that route back towards the Old Owl Well, it is now another good 8 days to get there. During the travels, you get the full rests again, so any spells or anything that you may have needed to rememorize, you get back. And let me give you the approach to the Cragmaw Castle. Just a moment here. There we go.
As a quick aside, though, was the spell book that the chick was looking for in that watchtower?
Now, as a side note, when you ask the Banshee about the spell book, she essentially tells you she doesn't know where it is, and that answer is fine for Sister Gariel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a crappy thing, but
Glad we didn't waste the
yeah.
question.
if you ask her about the spell book, and there's better text in there about it, but essentially she tells you, it's something like, I gave it to someone, don't know where it is now, have a nice day. And you go back to
screw
the
you.
sister and tell her, and she's fine with that answer. She's like, oh, shucks, I'll still keep looking.
That's a stupid little side.
Bullshit.
That's bull crap right there. All right, so when you When you arrive in the area where the arrow is pointing you in your quest log, you see, again from this map on page 5, Cragmaw Castle is right here, so you end up with pretty much a day travel into the forest before you can see it as well. And it is, as you approach, you see, and I'll read the narrative text here, the castle consists of 7 crumbling towers of different sizes and heights, but the upper stories are all in varying states of collapse. A short flight of steps leads up to a terrace in front of the main entryway. Past the wreckage of a pair of sundered doors lies a shadowed hall. Round towers loom over the entranceway, with dark arrow slits looking down on the terrace. Because you guys can see it from the outside, I'll give you the quick view of the castle. You're approaching from here. That's the trail that leads up to it. And that's where we're going to stop this session.
Next week, Cragmaw Castle.
Next episode, we'll be entering the Cragmaw Castle. Everybody say
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
goodbye.
Yes.
We conclude this session with our heroic band of adventurers approaching Cragmaw Castle in search of Gundren Rockseeker. Tune in for Part 3, Session 3 of the Dungeons & Dragons Starter Set and join our party as the story moves onwards. Thanks for joining us. The preceding podcast was brought to you by Shedcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.